Have you ever wondered what it's like to work for the President of the United States? Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it.
Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Whoa, 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 whoa.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ricky back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about working with Obama. Yes, you heard it right, working with Obama. Upon coming to this duty station here at the Pentagon, I didn't know really what I would be doing. I knew that I would be taking pictures of some high-level people, not knowing that I would be like in arm's reach of the president at any time in my career. Never dreamed of that, being in the Army or being a 25 Victor. Ever thought that would be something that would be actually something that I would be doing, but it happened. In 2016, I got here in January of 2016. By November and May of 2016, I shot Memorial Day. So Memorial Day, I was the second shooter. So I was the shooter in a press pool with a other bunch of people that's in the White House, a part of the White House press pool. So the White House press pool is a bunch of photographers, videographers, journalists, writers, blah, 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 who cover the White House on a regular basis. So I was just wrangled all up with them. This was on Memorial Day of 2016. So I was with them. I had a little bit more access than them, but not much. But he does every year, he does a wreath laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So he does a wreath laying ceremony there every Memorial Day. The president does, is who I'm talking about. So every Memorial Day and every Veterans Day, he does a wreath laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. If you don't know what the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is, check out, I have a video of what happens there. Check out my video on the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers to know a little bit more about what they do with the changing of the guard and all that kind of stuff. Check my video out. But anyway, that Memorial Day, I got some really good shots. I wasn't really close. I took a 400 millimeter lens, which wasn't being done in our agency. Nobody was using them. They were just sitting in the back collecting dust. And when I got there, I was like, "Hey, give me the biggest thing you got," you know. So they actually have a 600, but I wasn't about to be out there with that. But I wanted the 400 because it, of course, I'm gonna get camera technical on you now. I like the 400 because it's shot at f2.8. F is your aperture. So the lower the number, the more the depth of field, and not only the depth of field, the lower light it has capabilities of shooting in. So I wanted that. So I got the 400-2.8, and I got some great shots from Memorial Day, shooting Obama as he laid the wreath, and this, that, and the third. So I did that, and I also, in between, I shot 2 state dinners. So I shot a state dinner at the White House with the arrival of, I want to say, it's the Canadian Prime Minister was there, Jack Trudeau, I think his name is. It may not be Jack, but it's something Trudeau. He was there, and I'll find the right name and put it put it in here. But I went to the state dinner with him coming, and then all that is basically the part I shot was the arrival. Okay, so you'll have the honor guard out there. They'll be standing by, and then we'll wait, and then Obama and Michelle will come out. I'm sorry, President Obama and First Lady Michelle would come out, and when they came out, that was our opportunity to get our shots of them standing out waiting on the VIPs to come in. So while they're there, Obama might cut a joke or two, or he may look at Michelle and wink, or she may do something. But it's just always was a good time. So I was able to get photos of Obama and President Obama and First Lady Michelle during that time, and I just thought that alone was just ridiculous. Like I was like, wow, they're right there. Like, this is the President of the United States. Like, he's right there. And luckily, I had my 400 millimeter lens, and I was able to get some really cool shots and get kind of closer because I was kind of up on a riser. So I was able to get some pretty decent shots of them, what they had on. And, it was always a big deal what kind of dress Michelle will be wearing, this, that, and the third. Excuse me. So as we're doing that, then the VIPs roll through the cordon. If you don't know what a cordon is basically another word for arrival. I do cordons all the time at the Pentagon. And matter of fact, I did a video about one of my Pentagon arrivals. I'll put that link in the description or it'll be up in a card. But I actually did a video on it. But at the White House, the cordon, it's pretty much the same, but it's just at the White House. You got the honor guard members representing all three of our armed forces, and they are holding flags of not only the United States, but they're also holding the flag of whatever countries they're to visit. So in this case, it was Canada. So we had the Canadian Prime Minister there. So they'll get out the car, they'll hug. We got photos of that. I got photos of that. They'll hug. And then once they hug, they'll turn around to the crowd of media so we can get our shots. So they'll turn around and then we'll get all our shots and they'll smile. And for about a good 2 minutes, I don't even think it's 2 minutes. It might be shorter than that. And then we get our shots and then they turn around and they go back into, the actual state dinner. Now, I've never actually been inside of the state dinner, which we were working on to try to see if we can get credentials to actually shoot the actual dinner. So that's still being worked on, which I think will be actually cool, even though I won't be able to do it. But the next generation of soldiers coming to AMVID, which is the Army Multimedia and Visual Information Directorate, the next soldiers coming in will probably have that opportunity because we've tried to start working on being able to shoot inside of the state dinner. As you know, there's a lot of celebrities there. There's all kind of people that's in these things. So it'll just be pretty cool to be in there shooting. So I did that. And then I did a second state dinner. And this time it was, I can't remember what country it was. But not only did I do the state dinner, I also did the departure, which is another cordon. And basically, I'll tell you about the cordon after the state dinner. So it was the same deal. The VIP, Obama and Michelle come out. They look at everybody and, they do their little thing. We get our photos, blah, blah, blah. Then the VIPs roll up. We got the cordon. We got all three services out there representing with the flags and then, lined up the entryway. And then they do the same thing. They hug, they turn, and we take photos. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So that's basically what we do at a state dinner. And then basically when that's over, I go home. I mean, but now you don't just get to go in the White House because you're in the Army. That's not how that works. That process happens before the event even happens. You have to be credentialed to go into the White House. So you have to send up all your information to the White House. They have to run a check and do all the checks on it. And once they do the checks, they clear you and put you on a list. Now, I don't care if you have a cat card or not. You roll up to the White House gate and you're not credentialed or cleared, you're not getting in there. I don't care if you freaking the Sergeant Major of the Army. I don't care if you the what's his name? The Chief of Staff. I don't care who you are. If you're not cleared by the White House, you're not getting in there. Period, point blank. It's just not happening. And then another procedure that they did at the Veterans Day and the Memorial Day thing at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers is before you enter into the tomb, they have metal detectors. So you have to go through, you have to let the dogs have to sniff your stuff, they have to sniff your bags. They also do the same thing at the White House right out front. They have to sniff all your bags. They have to clear everything and make sure everybody has everything. They check the old guard's weapons, even though the weapons are not even have no type of weapons in, no type of ammunition or anything in it, but they have to check it and make sure. They look at your camera, they turn it on, they make sure everything is everything. So it's very extensive security there. So you're not going to get in with some foolishness. You got to be cleared. So when that particular VIP left, himself and his wife, they went over to a nearby air base, and they got in the air base. They have a cordon there. So basically you have the same thing, but you have the band out there. So the band's out there playing whatever their national anthem is as they walk through, and then they walk through and they shake people's hands, and then you take photos, and then they go up and get on their plane, and then they'll turn around at the top of the plane, and then they'll wave at the crowd, and blah, blah, blah. You get your shots. I thought that was also a pretty cool shoot that I did as well. And that's a departure. We get to later in that year, and we had Veterans Day. Now, this time it was at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, so it was still the same. But the difference was this time I was the primary photographer. So that brings a whole nother level of security that you have to be the primary photographer. So basically, what I was walking with and beside the president's actual photographer, which his name is Pete Souza. I was walking right with him and going with him. So wherever he went, I was able to go. But to have that, then you have to have the Secret Service pin. There's a pin that you have that you get, and it's a Secret Service pin, and you have to be pinned by the Secret Service to even be that. If you don't have that on, you can't get close. Period. Point blank. Like, it's just, they have rehearsals and everything else, so you'll know where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. So it's not like you just go there and you don't know. So they have a rehearsal, so they can say, hey, this is what's gonna happen. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the third. So I get there early for Veterans Day, get my pin, and it's a lot of hurry up and wait, as the Army is. We're just waiting around. We get there mad early. The thing doesn't start till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We might be there at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning or something just ridiculous. Just they're mad early for nothing. So we'll get there, and then we'll just be there. And then all of a sudden, when it happens so quickly till you like, damn, we've been waiting all this time, and it just happens so fast. So you'll go out there. We went to the back entrance of the tomb, and then the president's motorcade comes in, right? So the president's motorcade comes in, and he's on his way because you'll hear the cannons. Once you hear the cannons blowing, boom, boom, he's coming. All of a sudden, you'll see them come around the corner. The whole motorcade is coming in, and then the president's car will pull up. The commander for the military district of Washington will meet him there. Which was General Becker. The time I was there, it was General Becker. He will meet the president out and shake his hand out of his car, and literally I'm right there, like taking photos of him getting out of his car, taking photos of him interacting with the people as he comes to the people that's there to meet him. And you don't really have time to be like, oh my God, that's the president. Like, you got to get your shots. So that helped me because I'm always in the mentality. I'm thinking like, these shots are going to live with me forever. I'm not even thinking about the mission or what I'm there to get photos of. I'm thinking about me. Seriously, I'm just going to be honest. I got to get good photos because these are going to be with me for the rest of my life, that I was this close to the president. So taking photos of him coming through. So he's walking. So you got to run ahead and get photos. You got to run ahead and get photos. And then he goes inside the tomb where there's a little area where there's people in there, and then he'll mingle around with those people and talk to those people and say little jokes. And, everybody's going to laugh anyway because it's the president, but he was saying little different jokes. But he's actually pretty down-to-earth guy, pretty cool. So he will be in there, and then the actual reflaying part will start. So with the reflaying part, the secondary photographer will be out in the pit, so he'll be able to get the really good shots. But I'll be able to get, because I'm the primary, the shots of him coming back up the steps to get ready to go out into the amphitheater and give his speech to the crowd that's out there. So I'm just like right with it. I'm just right there. I can go anywhere and anywhere. One time I was mad close. I was so close, I couldn't believe how close I was. He was like in the doorway waiting to go out and say his speech, and I'm standing like 4 feet from him, like with my camera taking photos, and I got a nice close-up shot of him getting ready to go and say his speech, and then I got a whole bunch of other shots. I couldn't believe, I don't think I processed the whole thing until after I was done shooting. After I got done shooting, that's when I sat back and was like, man, I can't believe I was like that close to the president. So I thought that was, I just thought that was really cool. And to work with him and work with his, well, not necessarily him, like me and him, but working with his photographer, and his photographer, everybody said he was mean, but not to me. He let me do whatever I wanted. He said, hey, go get your shots. Do what you need to do, man. He was cool to me. I don't know if it's because he knew this was his last go around or whatever. I don't know. But I had no issue with him. He was cool. He let me get it whatever I needed to get. So I thought it was nerve wracking, but it was fulfilling at the same time, knowing that one day that was a thought on my mind when I was in AIT. Like, one day I'm going to be taking pictures of these guys. I remember when President Obama got elected in 2008. I wasn't in the military yet, and that was one of the reasons why I felt comfortable joining, because he was the president in 2010 when I joined, and then he got reelected in 2012. So I got the opportunity to really shoot somebody that I saw on TV, and I just thought that was just, it's like a monumental moment in my career that I was able to actually shoot things with the president. I shot 4 different things with him that he was a part of, and I was there. Actually 5. I'm sorry, because I also did his farewell to the troops. He did a farewell to the troops. So basically, I think this was like towards the end of 2016 when he was on his way out of office. He came to Fort Myer in Virginia, or Arlington, Virginia, and he had said a speech to soldiers. To the soldiers, basically, they call it farewell to the troops. Now, as that, I wasn't the primary on that. I was in the press pool again. But again, it's still, I was able to document a lot of his, a lot of events that he had done, and I was honored to be able to do the one that his last one that he was on his way out. So I got photos from that as well. The security measures still the same. They didn't even let you get close to the building where he was at, and we shot in that. It's called Comedy Hall. We shoot there all the time, but when the president came, we couldn't even drive our car. We had to get in the shuttle, like blocks away from it. And be driven up to the shuttle. Be driven up to Comedy Hall. Then once we came up to Comedy Hall, we had to go past through security again. So they weren't playing no games. That security was tight, bro. So, but it was really cool. And my job as a 25 Victor, if you're watching this video and you're gonna be a 25 Victor, or even a 46 Romeo or Quebec, these are some of the things that you could possibly be doing. If you really want to do things, there's an opportunity for any MOS to work at the White House Communications Agency. They need everything. They need 88 mics because they need people to drive. You probably won't drive for the president, of course. They got Secret Service agents for that, but they got other things they need drivers for. They need cooks. You can be a cook. You can be my MOS 25 Victor. You can be Public Affairs 46 Quebec Romeo. You can be a 25 Bravo. IT, they need IT people. So there's so many different, you can look that up yourself, but there's a lot of different MOSs that they take, but you have to be able to get that top secret clearance with SCI, compartmentalized items. So if you can't get that clearance, which I couldn't get it, you can hang it up. But a lot of you guys that's young and really don't have any credit issues or anything like that, you'll be able to get that clearance. So it's definitely something that you may want to consider doing if you want to work for a president. You could work at the White House Communications Agency, but I didn't work at the White House Communications Agency. I worked at AMVID, which is the premier agency for the Army as far as visual information goes. So you're talking about photography, video, and graphics. So that's based at the Pentagon. It's something that you could possibly be doing. That's why I think this is the coolest job in the Army. That's just my opinion. Because of the things that we get to do. We get to take a peek into so many people's jobs, and we get to, document it. But guess what? When we're done, all right, we'll holler at y'all. Like, we out. Y'all out there in the field rolling around in mud and dirt, and we're going to take some great photos of it, and we're going to get in the car, and we're going to go on back about our business while y'all still out there. So, just joking though. Because we have our moments. If you end up getting stationed at the 55th Combat Camera, you will be in the field a lot. They do a lot of field exercises for 25 Victors to get you ready to be prepared for a deployed environment, because you don't know what you might be doing. But I just wanted to come on here real quick and talk about that. I thought it was cool. And I had so much fun doing those different events and being able to document the President of the United States. I just thought that was awesome. I haven't worked as much with the current administration. However, I did do the presidential inauguration, and I'll do a video on that another time. I was at the presidential inauguration, not by choice, but by mission. And just like your boy Nino Brown say, always business, never personal. So I had to do what I had to do. But thank you guys for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And also, if you want to be notified when I make new videos, go ahead and hit that bell. Again, guys, oh yeah, the government is reopened. So hey, we don't have to be crazy anymore. The government is open, which I wasn't never really that worried about it anyway. So we're back to normal. But guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Ho, ho, ho. Mama, mama, can't you see?
Mama, mama,